the confidence comes from preparation. You know, so when the game's on the line, I'm not asking myself to do something that I haven't done thousands of times before. If your job is to try to be the best basketball player you can be, right? To do that, you have to practice, you have to train, right? You want to train as much as you can, as often as you can. If I start earlier, I can train more hours. And I know the other guys aren't doing it because I know what their training schedule is. If I do this consistently over time, the gap's just going to widen and widen and widen and widen and widen, and they won't be able to get that back. So to me, it was just common sense. I'm like thinking, how can I get an advantage? Oh, start earlier.
You know, basketball is my love, always have been, and I can't ever, envision an ending of something like that. You know, that passion that I have for the game until I'm dead and gone. Until that's when it's, well, I could wait. I'm not in a rush.
You're hungry or you full yet?
No, you feel yourself getting full because each time that you win, it takes away a little bit of that hunger, which is a challenge within itself. It's a battle within your mind to find a challenge to go to that same place that you've been 5 times before, and that's hard. When people say, well, the first one was the hardest, no, the last one's the hardest because you're battling with yourself.
If I can really elaborate on why I said myself more so than another athlete, is that because a lot of times I had to battle with myself to keep challenging myself. That to me was why I would say the biggest battle was myself, because when you get to a certain pinnacle, you got to find some ways to keep going out there for 82 games.
Kevin used to take practices and put me in the starting 5. And he'd make it a competitive thing where the losing team have to run. So now I'm on the winning team, and halfway in the game, halfway in the situation, he would switch me to the losing team. So I take that as a competitive thing by you trying to test me. And by 9 times out of 10, the second team would come back and win no matter what he did.
And you still want to do that as a pro when you leave basketball?
Yeah, I do. A lot of people say I couldn't do it, which is more energy for me to try to do it. It just drives me when people say I can't do anything. That means I'm gonna certainly try to achieve it even harder. My competitive drive is far greater than anyone else that I've met. I think that I thrive on that. I think that's my biggest motivation in life. Is to compete, find different competitions in certain things in life and try to overcome that. Be it positive or negative. But I have yet to meet someone who's as competitive as me. And I just feel that much confident about my competitive drive.
I just think that I have the habits of working hard. I've always been taught that to reach a goal that in life that you want, you have to work hard to get to it. And so far, I just have that in mind.
Determination, what your motives are, what your ambitions were from the beginning. It's been a lot of soul searching in terms of it's easy to sit back and say, well, I have given my best. I'm tired. Somebody else got to do it or whatever. I didn't take that approach. I thought positively and said whatever I could do, every little inch of energy that I have, I'm gonna try to provide for this team. I mean, if you give up, then they give up. So I didn't want to give up. No matter how sick I was, or how tired I was, or how low on energy I was, I felt the obligation, to my team, to the city of Chicago, to go out and give that extra effort so that we could be here for the 5th championship.
I got stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger because that became as important as anything else.
You have to step it up another level to be above normal. What motivates me is the unknown. No one knows. They can all speculate, but no one really knows. And when you look at my career from high school all the way up through to the pros, no one knew what Michael Jordan was capable of. And myself, I didn't know, but that I didn't let that stop me, and I let that motivate me more so than anything. That, as long as it's unknown, that means I have a chance, and that's the way I pursued my whole career. No, I'm nervous. I think if you're not nervous, then you shouldn't be here. It's a sense of nervousness because we're starting to venture down an alley that we hadn't seen in a long time, and I think nervousness brings excitement. These are the games that, Coach Smith used to tell me about. These are the fun games, when the anticipation is so high and the expectation is to go out and play a hard game and, let whoever put the hardest work on the basketball court decide to win, and who's going to win. And No, it's no different. Nobody said that Chicago Bulls are immune to this. I think this is a gut check for us, and I kind of like it.
No, for one time, my principal advised me to go to Air Force Academy because he felt that after I finished college, I'd have a job. So I said, no, I don't want to go that route. So I decided to go to the University of North Carolina. A lot of people didn't expect me to do so well, but I guess that was a challenge that I faced. And sometimes you have to face those challenges and see what happens.
I will not quit this game because of what the media has done to me or what other people have done to me. I will quit this game because my skills are diminished. I can't find the challenges to keep pushing myself. My love is always going to be there, but my pride won't let me leave because someone else is going to push me out. I'm going to leave on my own terms, and I don't think too many athletes have that opportunity to do, and that's what I want to do whenever it comes my time.
Well, I just tried to. They made me work on the offense as well as on the defensive end, and it's always great to go against some challenges like that and just see how you stack up against some of the best two guards in the league. And I think when our team winning has really put some pressure on them because they hadn't really had the help that I've had on the offensive end as well as the defensive end. So I'm happy with the way I played against both of those guys. I mean, that's just one game, and I'm pretty sure they was as excited as I was to compete against. 3 years of playing some solid basketball. Scottie Pippen and I have played basketball for, almost 12 straight months, and now, it took its toll on us. But yeah, we had so much desire and determination to get to this point that we were not going to give up. At least if we were going to go down, we were going to go down fighting with every energy that we had. We were going to put on the basketball court.
It was tough. It was tough in the sense that I was more competitive than I ever was because I wanted to win more than I ever did, because of some of the bumps in the road.
For a competitive junkie like me, golf is a great solution because it smacks you in the face every time you think you have accomplished something. Oh! That to me is taking over a lot of that energy and that competitiveness for basketball.
You think sometimes that the way you play could shorten your career because you play so hard, you're the nucleus of the success in Chicago. And I don't mean to embarrass you or put you on the spot so you have to diss your partners. But you have to really play hard. Does that hurt you physically?
No, because when I play hard all the time. There's no turn it on here, turn it off here. It's just 110% at all times. So, if I burn out, That means my career's short. I go play golf somewhere. Yeah. But I just never, in my whole life, I've never paced myself. It's all just go out and do your best. And a lot of people worry about me burning out. And I never had the time to worry about it.
At my best, I feel I still have room to improve. I still set goals for myself to strive for. I'm never complacent with what I've achieved. Even though it's been very successful for me, I still feel I have a lot to prove, not just as a player, but as a person, as a father, to some extent, as a role model, in all aspects. So I'm never really too complacent with myself or with what I've achieved. When I get to a point where I feel I can improve as a player, I walk away from the game. I still feel that I have a plateau that I hadn't reached yet in terms of my skills or my expectations of myself. I'm always going to expect myself to do certain things or surpass certain things. As long as I believe that, then my road to success is going to continue to expand.
I mean, what else can I say? The next year I come back, I broke my foot, I was out for 65 games, and when I came back, I wanted to play. Here in the doctors, they came up with this whole theory that you can only play 7 minutes a game, but I'm practicing 2 hours a day. I'm saying, well, I don't agree with that math, And back then, it was about whoever had the worst record get the most balls in the ping pong balls, and you can decide what pick you're gonna have. But I didn't care about that. I just wanted to win. I wanted to make the playoffs. I wanted to keep that energy going in Chicago. So I had to go in his office and sit down with him. And I said, Jerry, I feel like I should play more than 14 minutes. I'm practicing 2 hours. He says, MJ, I think I have to protect the long term of investment that we've invested in you. And I said, Jerry, I really think I should be able to play. He said, let me ask you this. You said, if you had a headache, and at that time it was about 10% chance that I can re-injure my ankle or my foot. He says, if you have a headache and you got a
10 tablets, and one of them is coated with cyanide, would you take the Tylenol? And I looked at him, I said, how bad is the headache?
It's not about the shoes. It's about knowing where you're going, not forgetting where you started. It's about having the courage to fail. Not breaking when you're broken. Taking everything you've been given and making something better. It's about work before glory. And what's inside of you is doing what they say you can't. It's not about the shoes. It's about what you do in them. It's about being who you were born to be. Maybe it's my fault. Maybe I led you to believe it was easy when it wasn't. Maybe I made you think my highlights started at the free throw line and not in the gym. Maybe I made you think that every shot I took was a game winner. That my game was built on flash and not fire. Maybe it's my fault that you didn't see that failure gave me strength, that my pain was my motivation. Maybe I led you to believe that basketball was a God-given gift and not something I worked for every single day of my life. Maybe I destroyed the game. Or maybe you're just making excuses.
The Bulls can win it right here. The Bulls can win it. Unbelievable. 13 seconds left. Jordan left side.
I practice as if I'm playing a game. So when the moment comes in the game, it's not new to me. That's the beauty of the game of basketball. That's the reason why you practice. That's the effort. So when you get to that moment, you don't have to think. Instinctively, things happen.
Jordan, a drive. Hangs, fires, yes! The Bulls lead 87-86.
Michael Jordan with 45 points.
You know, I think it was a very defining moment of what my career was in Chicago.
The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship.
If that's the last image of Michael Jordan, how magnificent is it?